Alright, I have a successful mock-up. I am really excited for the bodice part of this dress. So what I'm planning on doing is I have my muslin here. I'm going to use that as an interlining to give it more structure because the gold that I'm using for the bodice is very thin. And then I have this yellow for a lining. I didn't find a gold lining at the store, so I just got the yellow. I am going to bone it in several places. I'm not 100% sure where yet. Probably in this dart here. Probably not that dart, but I might put one like lengthwise there, and then the side seam, and then the center back seam, which will be here. So this is the center front. This is actually where I'm going to put the closure. I'm doing that because I want to be able to completely get this dress on and off without help. And since I'm making a separate, pardon the twins, they're in another fight. I've been breaking up fights all day. Since I'm going to have it as two separate pieces, and then I'm going to put some hooks and eyes on the bottom to hook, so that I can hook the skirt up under to the bodice. I don't see anywhere that could even lead to the illusion of lacing on the pictures from the movie. And I really honestly don't want it. So I'm going to put just little hooks and eyes all the way down the front so that I can get it on and off by myself. So that's where we are. The next step is to iron this out. Obviously, again, I've already ironed it once, but when all of my mock-ups and pinching and pinning, it got wrinkled again. And then I'm going to flatline this piece to the front, which I don't have the turnover placket, but that's fine. And then I might flatline all three pieces together and then just treat all three of them as one, even with the lining. They're all pretty thin, and I don't want to do like a bag lining afterward, so that's probably what I'm going to do. But it's pretty simple. Like, I got it in just two front / side pieces and then the back piece. Because the part that goes over the arms, I'm going to put that on afterwards. That's another reason I wanted to open in the center front, because I don't want to have to try to do like a side opening or a back opening with those parts over my shoulder. So anyway, I'll be back when that is done. Okay, I got working and I need to update. So all the pieces I finished basting by hand, flatlining them all together, I guess. I did inside the darts, on all the darts, both sides. That way when I pinched up all the layers of fabric, it wouldn't shift. I stitched down with the machine this front facing here on both of the ends, and I then sewed all the pieces together, obviously. And now what I am doing is trimming down the 3 seams here, and I'm going to stitch in the ditch on this side with the machine down the middle, but then I'm going to hand stitch the edge on both sides here because I do not want the boning channels visible, but this is going to turn into boning channels. I'm going to put two bones on either side of the seam, there and there and there, obviously. I know I'm going to come and put boning here on the front on both sides, and then I'm thinking this dart is where I'm going to put a bone as well on both sides. So all the boning is next, channels. But before I actually put the boning in, I'm probably going to go ahead and finish the bottom edge with this. I know this is the fabric for the skirt, which is the lighter gold, but it's not going to be visible because I'm going to machine sew it right sides together here and then flip this over to the inside and then hand tack that down. But it's a bias cut strip, so it'll work. And I've already made it. So that is the plan, and I will probably hop back on here and update after, at least after I've finished the boning channels. Probably before I start this, but we'll see. Alright, I would have jumped on here and showed this before I put this bottom edge on, but my son was doing his cello practice for school, so that was gonna be a no. So, all channels have been hand stitched down. Here, there, and there. I'm still thinking that I'm going to put bone here and here, in which case I'm going to actually just stick it under there and then tack it down on both of those darts. Yep. I just need to make sure I have some spiral steel boning that's the correct length here. So that's where I'm at. The next thing I'm going to do is actually put the boning in. And I did stitch down this right sides together, turned it under, and top stitched that down with a very small stitch. I am literally copying an illustrated image, so there's not seam lines for me to copy other than the main line that you see down the front of Belle's dress. So I'm going to be okay with top stitching, and I think it's going to look fine. Now for this edge, I'm going to hand whip stitch that down all the way across, and I will do the same thing for the top edge up there. So to the boning. Alright, quick jump in here to say that all of the, well, the not real whalebone, synthetic, is in. I'm going to put some heat on it and see if I can get it to stop curling. But two there, two there, two there, one there, and one on the other side. I have not yet put these in. I will get to that. But before I did that, I wanted to go ahead and get this on because I'm about ready to have some time this evening. And I want to have the ability to just sit down and do the hand stitching on sewing that down. So that's what's next, and then once that is all done, I will figure these two babies out. It's coming along. Alright, so much hand sewing. So I don't know if I've mentioned it, but I decided to make this a front closure in light of the fact that I wasn't sure how else I wanted to do the closure with the Bertha that's going to go on, and it's clearly like one piece all the way around the neckline until you get to the middle where they've got the beads. And in the illustrations from the movie, there's a very visible center line on the bodice. Now, I mean, they don't, it's illustration, they don't illustrate all the seams. So, you know, I still have my darts and here on both sides and then the back seams. But I was okay with this being a little bit more visible in light of the images. So I have sewn on a whole bunch of hooks and eyes there and completely stitched down the top and the bottom seams there. And my battery's about to die, so I'm going to talk really fast. I don't have all my hooks and eyes. I ran out, so I'm waiting for some more to arrive. So I'm going to do that, and then the next thing is to start the Bertha. I'm really excited. It's coming along. Okay, so I have the piece for the Bertha cut out, and I did a rolled hem with my rolled hem foot on both long edges and one of the ends. I have not done the other end yet because I know I cut this longer, at least I'm pretty sure I cut this longer than I wanted it. It was really difficult to get an idea of what I wanted to do, how much of it I needed with it on a whole bunch of fabric. So I had to cut a piece off so that I could actually play with it on the bodice. So I know I went longer At least, you know, I estimated longer than I think I need. And now I do think that I got the correct width, so I'm happy with that. So the next part is I might actually have to put on the bodice because I don't have arms yet for my dress form. I have a pattern and I have planned to make them, but I haven't got to it yet. So I can't drape them around the arms. So we'll see how this goes, but that is next. I'm going to see what I'm going to do there. And it's getting closer. Alright, I do not know right this moment where I left off last. But where we are now is, it is done. I have put a little stitch, very long thread through here, which is where it goes over my arm, just to kind of hold it from like completely separating on both sides. Wearing it actually holds it up, so I don't have to worry about that. So yeah, it's coming down a lot further than it actually comes down when I put it on, which is more like that. And I put a tacking stitch there and one on that side to hold it up over the bodice. All the hooks and eyes are in, and it lays so wonderfully. Again, I'm not sure where I left off last time, but I managed to get these beads exactly how I wanted them, if it'll focus. So this one's sewn to this side and these two are sewn to this side. So there's a hook and eye like right back there, and it brings them together perfectly. I am so flippin' excited. I did try to make some gloves out of the darker gold, because in the movie she does have the darker gold gloves. But this fabric is not stretchy in any way, and even cutting it on the bias, that didn't work. So I just had to order some. It's fine. So the next thing is the headpiece, which I got this ribbon. If I can turn on the light here. Actually, I don't know if that made it any better. Got this ribbon and some gold wire, and I'm just going to do my best to come up with something that kind of V's and goes around the bun and the hair, because I don't want it to be heavy, so I didn't want metal. So yeah, that will be the last thing other than waiting for the gloves that I need to do. And the wire is to make sure it kind of forms the way that I want it to. So that's what's next.